CJ Flyer back with another YouTube video, back with some more angry Mavs fans rants. Okay, yesterday, the NBA announced the voting for the final individual award that we've been all waiting for, the MVP of the regular season. Now, as a lot of us kind of expected, Jokic did end up winning. I wouldn't say by a landslide, but I mean, if you look at the first place votes, he definitely outnumbered everyone else on this list by quite a few. So yes, Jokic wins the MVP, but my beef is not with Jokic. And to be honest, my beef's not with any of these players. These are all great players in their own regards. My beef is with the people making the votes for these awards. So Jokic getting number one, fine. I can understand voting Jokic as number one. He's a great player, statistically very efficient. He contributes in more than just the scoring column, and his team relies on him. He is very much the most valuable player on his team, because without him on this team is likely, they might not even be a playoff contender, let's be honest. But anyways, moving on, you would think, at least my perspective, maybe I'm a little biased, okay? But looking at the stats, looking at everything except the team's success, Luka should be in second place. Just quite frankly. Now, before everyone gets upset and goes in the comments and says, "Oh, you're just a loser Mavs fan. You're just upset Luka's playing so bad, and the Mavs are playing so bad right now against the Thunder." And by the way, I'm recording this 3 hours before the start of Game 2, and we'll see how it goes. I don't have high expectations. But that being said, this is a regular season award. Let's not talk about the playoffs right now. Now, I've done something here, right? And I know you can see the name on the screen. I'm not going to cover it up or anything for you. But just looking at the 2023-2024 NBA stats, if you look at all three of these players, tell me who you think is most deserving of MVP, and then tell me who you think is second most deserving, all right? So we look here, 79 of 82 games played. That's pretty good. 26 points per game, 12 rebounds, 9 assists on 58% shooting from the field, 36% from three, 82% from the free throw line. Yeah, I'd say pretty good. Go to player number 2, 30 points, okay, scored a little more. 5 rebounds, 6 assists per game. Not so great, okay. I mean, that's, plenty of players get this number of rebounds and assists in a game. Field goal percentage, pretty solid. 3-point percentage, solid. 35%, not the best, but not, it's good. 87% free throw percentage, also good. Well, look at this player. 34 points per game, 9 rebounds, 10 assists. The percentage for just overall field goal percentage a little bit lower, but the 3-point percentage up to a 38. Free throw percentage a little bit lower, but look again, look at all three, and even just points, rebounds, assists. Look at these and tell me, who do you think? In my mind, for number one, it's between these two, right? You got two guys nearly averaging a triple-double. One guy's doing it scoring 34 points per game, 50% from the field. The other guy's doing it 26 points per game, 58, 60% from the field. And then you got this guy doing 35 and 6, okay? I mean, look, I'm no genius or anything, but if you just look at these three players A, B, and C, without the names next to them, I mean, this guy is clearly in last. I'm just saying, clearly in last. But no, this is Shai. There's Shai, and Shai got second. And why did Shai get second? There seems to be some bias towards Shai for whatever reason. I think partly because the Thunder are the number one team in the West, and for whatever reason, team success seems to have somewhat of a play in this award. Now, the funny thing is of course, because the West is so stacked, if you took this Mavericks team with 50 wins and stuck them in the Eastern Conference, they're number 2 in the East. So then you got to wonder if the Mavs were in the East, which, I mean, it's a ridiculous, a what-if scenario, which it doesn't really have much meaning. But if you were to throw the Mavs in the East and they were the number 2 seed in the East, I'm sure, a little bit more preference or a little bit more bias goes towards Luka for the MVP award just because of the positioning in the conference standings. That's my hunch. But let me be salty here. And I got one more thing. Everyone loves to focus on the best games from the MVP candidates, who had the best games. And so offense is generally given the heaviest weight, I would say, the scoring as far as choosing an MVP. Offense over defense seems to be the criteria for voting for an MVP. So if we look at just, points scored in a single game, I mean, Luka had that 73-point game in Atlanta this season. He had that 50-point game on Christmas in Phoenix. Both these games were on the road, mind you. And then let's look at Shai's. Shai's best scoring game, he had a couple 43-point games. One at home, one on the road. All right, one's against Cleveland, pretty solid team. The other was they lost. They lost with a 43-point performance. Luka, except for this one 45-point loss, all of his 40-plus point performances resulted in wins. Just going to throw that out there. And then Jokic didn't score higher than 42, and for the most part, with his 40-plus point performances, his team ended up winning. So, I mean, just looking at the best scoring games, Luka's got the best scoring games. Let's look at the worst scoring games. Now, you might be wondering, why would I look at the worst scoring games? Well, I would think someone that's voted as the MVP is someone you see as like a reliable go-to player every single game. Doesn't matter the matchup, doesn't matter their, current injury status or what have you. The MVP, they're the most valuable player, value. You would expect them to perform on a consistent basis every single game. Now, Jokic here, of course, he's got some 4-point games, an 8-point game, 9-point game. Yeah, but I'll cut him some slack because, look, he's got 7 boards, 16 assists, and 5 blocks in this 4-point game. So, yeah, he only scored 4 points. He only shot the ball 3 times. So, have at it. I think it's fine. This doesn't, it looks bad at first, but he's contributing in other areas. So, I'd still say he's very valuable to the team in that game. The only game I'd have a real problem with where he scored under 10 was probably this 9-point game here where he only got 5 rebounds and 5 assists. But otherwise, pretty solid even on his low-scoring games. We look at Shai. Shai had a game where he did not score 10 points. He was 2 of 16 from the field. 2 of 16. Now, I'll only bring up the percentage because I'm bringing up the point total here. If he scored a ton of points and it wasn't a good efficiency, so be it. But at least he's still the main guy on the team. This is inexcusable. And he's voted over this guy here who, yes, mind you, didn't have the best percentages at times, but it's 12% from the field, 0% from 3. And meanwhile, we got the lowest scoring point total from Luka this season, 16 points, 5 of 16 from the field. Still not great. 6 of 27 too. Goodness, that is horrendous. But hey, he also got 16 assists, 10 rebounds. I mean, this is not. You look at, if you showed me this box score and didn't tell me the player's name, and then you told me this guy was an MVP candidate, I mean, are you kidding me? So, look, I'm not saying Shai should not have been an MVP candidate. I'm not saying he's not a great player. But look, why are we giving this guy more first place votes over Luka? And then one more thing to add to end the video. What is this? Who is the guy voting for Sabonis to be in the top 5 MVP? Get rid of that guy's vote. That guy doesn't get a vote anymore. Just no. All right, done ranting. Looking forward to game 2 tonight. And let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.